So, what is up, everybody? So, Betsy's running, but she's running like crap. She idles fine. I got to adjust the idle down a little bit, which I'm still learning. I'm getting input from different people and different videos on how to tune an Edelbrock carburetor. My biggest problem is that the vacuum lines. I bought some vacuum lines, bought some other stuff to replace what I can, but I ended up calling around. There's a guy in Clovis here who is Freddy's Garage. He's like the carburetor king of Clovis. Super nice guy. I actually talked to him, kind of asked. He said, well, my shop rates are about $65 an hour. And I said, well, how much, worst case scenario, how long do you think it'll take? Like, how many hours do you think it would take to redo all the vacuum lines on my engine? And he said, well, if you bring it in, pull the doghouse off for me, and he said probably about hour and a half, 2 hours. So you figure about $150, you know, is what it would cost to replace all the vacuum lines on Betsy. Which, that's the biggest problem that I'm having, is that if the vacuum lines were still there but just damaged and cracked and rotted away, I'd be able to do it myself. My problem is that I don't know how to read the vacuum diagram, because if it was like an exploded image, like, you know, the center part is the carburetor, and then from the carburetor it goes to Myon, and, you know, this line goes to here, and it was a more 3D image type, not just an image that I don't know how to read, it'd be a different story. But, or if the lines were still there, you know. And then I do need to get new plugs. So the plugs, I figure, will run me about $65, and I'm gonna re-gap them. I'm gonna get the double platinum plugs, the whatevers, and then re-gap them, and then replace the plugs with some newer plugs, because I'm sure that with the dirty carburetor and her running bad, I'm sure that some of them have been fouled and whatever. I'm still going to keep the old plugs, just because I like to keep old parts. Like, I got a little box full of parts from the old carburetor that are still, they're dirty, but they're still good, because for two reasons. If I ever need the parts, or if I run into somebody else that has a 351 Windsor that part's broken, you know, it's like, well, actually I have that part. But once I get the vacuum lines replaced, that's the biggest problem. And that's another thing too. Somebody was saying that even if the distributor for the vacuum advance is still hooked up, with all the other vacuum leaks, that could actually cause her to misfire and everything like that. And I know that you guys know a lot more about engines than I do, so you guys might be able to confirm this, that with other vacuum leaks, that will actually cause the distributor to not fire properly. So yeah, I figure about $150, well, about $200, you know, with the new plugs, and then getting all the vacuum lines replaced is what I got to put into Betsy. So more than I want to spend, but and that's going to take a couple weeks, because I got to get my paycheck, get bills caught up, and then yeah, so that'll be nice to get that done. I did get the new thermostat and thermostat housing for Betsy, so I will be able to install that, and yeah, hopefully get that going. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to, at some point down the road, remove the belt-driven fan, replace that with a cap, and then put an electronic fan on Betsy, like a double fan, just because I want to make sure that she's staying cooler. Just be, I don't know, you know, because if I'm out in the middle of nowhere and that belt breaks, you know, and I don't have a belt, that sucks. I mean, you can always temporarily use paracord to fix a belt or a shoelace or something like that, but at least until you get into town. But I'd rather just have an electronic fan, because an electronic fan, I can actually get them for like 30-40 bucks off of eBay, and the dual fans, and then hook them up that way. But yeah, so that's my plans are, is to save up about 200 bucks to get the new plugs, get the vacuum lines replaced, and then have okay, I guess it's noon, because I still have my alarm set on my watch for noon. But yeah, get the vacuum lines replaced, get the Edelbrock tuned, get the new plugs on, and yeah, see where she's running from there. Because it's frustrating to have her not running right. I mean, in all honesty, she almost ran better when the carburetor was dirty and all messed up. So, whatever. Just gotta save up about 200 bucks and get her going. So that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, so that's gonna be my video for the day. Comment in the section below, big thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I will talk to you guys later.